Right there. In the world of today, it's quite a strange one. There's so many different subjects that you can learn and that you have to sort of investigate before you take it from the media of the UFO, UAP uh, subject, because you can't get given it from the media. You have to understand it from your own personal experience of what it means for you. Or let's say if you have to deal with a whole new sort of perspective on the universe or yourself in it, again, it leaves you sort of at odds and ends with your government. It's like, how long you guys known about this for? And you've wanted us as a human being to walk on this earth knowing that you guys understand there is a different way of doing things. And it's like all these wars for all this fucking petrol, diesel, oil, crude oil, and you think to yourself, you're killing a hell of a lot of people just for oil. That's bad on many levels, and it's crazy to think we'd continue along that same line. But there is so much to learn for us if you're invested in all of this. It's interesting to pick apart where the CIA and the FBI, the American government, the MI5, the UK, has sort of gone out their way to distract and do false flags. And it's going over to crop circles. You can even, and it's all been like seen as a psyop and stuff like that from everybody on the world, sort of thing. Like, oh, don't worry about that. That's just false. That's you know. But you got to critically think for yourself and understand your own experience of how it all works for you on a personal level. Let's get rid of the media. Let's get rid of all that crap because it's not helping you. If anything, it wants you more distracted than anything. So you understand that you have emotions, you have mental thoughts, you have your physical attributes that help to make your life what it is, and you have a family, or you have a job to do in the world. And if not, then you can work toward helping everything and do what it does. Then you can understand that you've got reasons to do things, and it's great, and it makes you a helpful human being, or whatever the other side, maybe a bad human being. But everyone's life is different, and it doesn't matter. What matters is the collective conscious of the earth. If we all decide that, hey, our world could be a lot better if it didn't do this, or it didn't go to war with because of that, that would be a better idea for the collective. It's I mean, I look at us like we're the honey, right? And there's worker bees that get us to do certain things and squeeze us a little bit, and there's a bit of honey that comes out, and it's taken from. You know what I mean? It's just an analogy, because you kind of have everything going on, and you think, well, what's the point? What is it that I'm emotionally feeding? What is it that I'm becoming? What is it that I'm working toward? And everyone should have this in their mind. And it's like, I'm trying to understand for my own sense of family, and like seeing how friends and people and myself are digesting all this that's coming out. It just helps to sort of regard the past. So you've got places like Pyramids of Giza, you've got Baalbek, you've got Machu Picchu of Peru, Sacsayhuaman in Peru. By any means necessary, they are the same, Machu Picchu and but they have technology that is similar, like the blocks and how they've all managed to be so close together you can't get a piece of paper between. And these things are so fucking, these blocks weigh so much. And you're like, we can't do that. We can only transport 40 tons of stone, or, that weight on the road. 40 tons. And these stones, some of them are a thousand tons each. Baalbek, we're just going to look at that, the trilithon stones. And Romans, they said they basically made lots of monuments on Baalbek, but they never attributed the trilithon stones that they placed the blocks upon. They were like, nah, that's not us. We like to keep records, but we're not going to take that because we can't do that. But they could do a lot. But then you go look at Egypt, and you're looking at the immense undertaking and the stone structures, the obelisks. I mean, it just blows your mind. You're like, hang on a minute. We ain't the best of the world civilization. All right, I'm just gonna let you know. We like once we're up here, and then we kind of went back down here, and then we built up a little bit, but went a different way. It kind of feels, or else we'd still be doing that sort of stuff. Whether or not we had help from information from another land, another star system, another interdimensional field, I don't know. I don't know how it works, but it's like the fourth state of dimensional interacting with the third, ours. Like we, the third, looked at a two-dimensional space and go, hey, maybe you'd like to draw yourself, Mr. Two-Dimensional Man. That's a good way of looking at it, I suppose. But what it is there is a lot of information out there, right, that you can read about, that you can watch. A few videos online, I know for that for sure. There's hundreds of thousands out there of different subject matters. But just try not to get stuck in the cobwebs of this is it, this is how it is. Because they're going to try and get you in that little catacomb of that's where he is. And you're not going to be that. You're going to be like, fuck it, I'll figure out whatever it is. It just makes a lot of sense to be on the fence with a lot of stuff. So don't dig yourself into a hole. Just be free thought. But again, there is a lot of ancient monuments. There's a lot of ancient structures that were more celestially aligned, especially with Orion, with Leo, the constellation Leo in Egypt, Sphinx. I mean, wow. There's even places in Malta. There's aligned perfectly with the stars. So they were all looking up, all right? But yeah, we all have those biblical stories of the Great Flood. There's even Chinese stories of a flood. And then there's the Mesoamerican stories of a flood. So we all have a pretty much the same sort of field of history sort of thing. But let's look at it from this perspective. We grew technologically and we sort of kept record after a while. 150 years back, written records. No, a lot longer than that. But you know what I mean. That's it. The Sumerians, very, very long time ago, thousands of years back, they would do these little tablets and do all these little drawings in tablets, and they'd go there's a receipt. Fair enough. That is cuneiform. That's a written part of things, and it's kind of like, what were we all doing before that? And we kind of went a different way, didn't we? Anyway, so what I'm saying is like, now we have computers. Now, after writing and everything, it's all put in the cloud, it's all in the ether, it's information, it's there. So we've gone a different way. And now we're trying to explain this world whilst looking at ours and trying to explain the past world, whilst it also disregards the field of view of things that you can't see. Now on this, it's like a deep dive thing, but you have to understand that there's a lot more than you can see that's in reality. It's like ghosts, spirits, that sort of thing, but you can't take anything you have to take everything with a grain of salt, because you can't go, this is this and this is that, and it probably is that, but only to you. It would be like that to someone else. So it's all placebo, but it just shows that the power of our minds is a hell of a lot more than we thought. And fair enough. So there is no language as such. Our English language doesn't really explain this stuff very well. It's fun trying to figure it out, because you've got places like India, not Sumerian. There's a language, ancient Indian, that have words for states of mind. It's quite interesting. Can't even think of the bloody name of it. It'll come to me. Sanskrit. There you go. So there's the path of meditation. There's silence in the mind of all the monkey mess, monkey mind sort of thing. And it's like peace, and it's like that going toward the light sort of stuff, trying to find the ideal, the without mind stuff. Very, very interesting, and I'd say to go down that path if you're looking for peace of mind. But again, what it is finding out that the mind, through dreams, works on an unconscious level, and it's a hell of a lot more intelligent than our conscious mind. So this is like waking up into a mess. You don't really understand, but when you fall asleep, it's all there for you. Dreams kind of like to be a nice little walkway for you, and it takes you there in a nice way. Again, it can be a horrible way, but it can also do with your acceptance of the information as well. So anyway, it's a hell of a weird way of understanding the mind in the world. But us on a collective are trying to figure out what everything's about, whereas space is concerned, where all the physical, like you've got fuel, oil, and then you've got ownership of that. So we all need to figure what the hell's going on. And if there's a better way of doing it that doesn't cost people's lives, that'd be beautiful. And I'd much rather not go to fucking war with someone who's from the Middle East. Screw over their land, pay Israel a hell of a lot of money. It's just fucking... But again, there's so much information out there. We understand that there's, a hell of a lot that's happened in the past. But what we want to be more aware of is what's happening right now. And some people just feel under the covers from it all, and it does suck. But I'd much rather watch the Kardashians. We need to stop that. Anyway, we'll figure it out.